trying to find on YouTube good videos on how to set up Chinese water dragons, and I can't really find any. People moan about they can't keep humidity up in the tank. People cover the top with tin foil or glass or tape. I've just found really poor videos on all the research that I've done anyway, so I'm going to show you and talk you through how to set up a Chinese water dragon properly. Well, I think it's properly anyway. So I've got one of these tanks here. There it is. Sorry about the microphone noise. There it is. And the door's there. What you want, because Chinese water dragons are climbers, you do want something quite tall. I mean, he's only a baby in there at the minute. I'll probably end up having to change the tank in about 2 years. So that's alright, it doesn't really bother me. What I've basically got in there is the substrate stuff. That's cocoa fibre and moss. You need about a couple of centimetres on the very bottom to just line the floor. These leaves for him to climb on, they're fake, and at the back, and then you've got a climbing wall at the back then as well. That's polystyrene, and a silk plant at the back there. Got a little Heidi tunnel there and his water bowl. I haven't filled it yet, but I will do in a minute because I'm going to take it out and show you something. In these tanks, people complain about humidity quite a bit. On the very top there's a screen. Turn that light off. You've got like a screen there, like a mesh. Basically, I've seen a few people cover that mesh with glass or tape. Cover the heat lamp bit of the mesh with tin foil to try and keep all the humidity in the tank. Your tank doesn't have to be that humid. It's only the bottom half. You want to set your humidity gauge at just round about there. Don't know if you can see where my hand is. Just there. Just on the bottom. Because you'll find your water dragon will end up coming to the very... If he wants to be all humid and stuff, just as he's shedding or whatever, you'll end up, he spends a lot more time down the very bottom there, because it's impossible to keep the whole tank at 80% humidity. Like, it's not cool, because he can go up here and bask on his log or whatever. To help keep humidity in the tank, on the very bottom it's about 80, up at the top it's round about 70, 60, 70 or something. How I've done that is, you want one of these little sprayers, but misters. You can buy them from Wilkinson for about £2, something like that, bargain. Right, on this I've got 2 heat mats, one on the side there, just on the very top. That's a long heat mat there, and then on the very bottom I've got a square heat mat. You put your heat mats on the outside of the tank. It's not very good to mix humid tank with electrics. It's not good. Right, underneath the water bowl, on the very bottom of the tank, I've got a small little heat mat just underneath there. Don't know if you can see it. Right on the bottom. Basically, I've just taped it to the top of the to the bottom of the glass. So when that gets nice and warm, it heats the water bowl, and then that heats the water, and then not to a point where it's boiling, it's just nice and warm for him to swim in, and it keeps the bottom of the tank, or at least half of the tank, nice and humid, so we can just go and chill out at the very bottom of the tank. Like, it's cool. So far, like, mine's had no problems. Like, he only shed last week, and he spent literally the week on the very bottom of the tank. So don't go putting like plastic and tin foil and all that shit here, because that's all there for a reason. Yeah. On this side of the hood, what you want is your Reptiglow on one side, and on the other side just an ordinary daylight bulb. And your Reptiglow, then you want where he can climb up to, because if it's on the other side and he can't climb to it, he's not going to get any benefit from it, because they have to be quite close to get some kind of benefit from the rays there. Your heat lamp, one of these bad boys. One of them, mine's blue. It's a 60 watt with a clay dish there to mount. That just sits on top of the tank, and he'll go there whenever he wants to bask. Again, don't cover it with shit. It's there for a reason, and it's vented for a reason. Right, what you want to do as well to help keep humidity, the substrate stuff, like the cocoa fibre and moss, you can buy in either Pet at Home or a local reptile store. I recommend going to a local reptile store. They're people that will give you the best information, or people that do it as a hobby. Like all the tires, like big chain stores that aren't very good at all, really, because they're just there to make money and they don't really care. They just want the cash in the pocket. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's cocoa fibre with a mixture of moss. Keep that not soaking but quite damp, because you're trying to simulate a rainforest in here, and the canopy in a rainforest will stop sunlight getting right to the very bottom, so it's always quite damp and humid. And I've been to a few rainforests as well, so and that is what it's like. Yeah. So basically, you want to give him something nice to climb on, keep the bottom nice and humid, keep the temperature gauge at the top at the hottest point. It is a good idea to get another temp gauge and have one maybe around a cool point, so you know like how cold it is. You want the hottest point though to be around about 90, and then at night you want that to drop to about 70. Give him about 8 hours of UVB a day, and then turn everything off. Then I normally leave once I turn everything off, and at night anyway, I can leave my basking light on all night if I want. The temperature drops to around about 82, and then on the very bottom where he normally sleeps, it's a bit cooler, so sometimes I put a moonlight bulb in as well. Most times I turn the basking light off. It depends how cold the house is. So obviously I don't want to drop him down like quite cold, so you just use your common sense, and just, if it's going to drop down to below 70, keep the basking light on to keep that temperature up, so he's nice. Setup cost, you're probably talking about 150 quid to 180, depending on what you want. When they're small, you don't want too big a tank, because they can get lost and stressed. They kind of like to keep in one little place when they're small. When they're bigger, you can go for a nice big tank, but there's just no need when they're too small. Don't go busting out all that money. Set him up nice, and then save up then and buy one. All in all, like, you can, if you want, you can sell this tank at the end of it, or you might find him a female friend, or her a male friend, and you might want to breed them, and you've got another Viv then to keep them separate, whatever. You want somewhere nice for him to run and hide. I've got a little hidey hole at the bottom there. quite cool. And that's about it. I feed him about 3 or 4 crickets a day, quite big crickets. I gut load my crickets to fuck. I keep my crickets there in a little aquarium thing that I picked up, about 20 quid. They're not that expensive. Make sure you got fucking closed top, you don't want them jumping out. The ones that you're going to feed to your water dragon, what you want to do, these guys are chirping in here, they know they're going to be eaten. What you want to do, you want to pick up the ones you want to feed, put some good food in there, veggies or whatever, calci dust them, that, and then gut load them with that and veggies and carrots or whatever, get them nice and fat, and then feed them bad boys then to your water dragon. So you're always keeping them separate. The biggest from the tank, because the biggest will end up ripping all the other little crickets apart. It just gives a chance, just gives the fucking little crickets more of a chance to feed up and eat, so you're not wasting, you're always going on that. You can breed crickets if you want, too much of a pain in the arse for me at the minute. I probably will do it in the near future, but not just at the moment. What else am I missing? I think that's about it, to be honest with you. Basically, I got him as a pretty random present. These boys are moving to Cardiff and they didn't have anywhere else for him to go, so my mum bought him and I didn't really know what to do with him, so I've done quite a bit of research, and online you've found a lot of people talking a lot of shit, to be honest with you. You got, like I said, I mean, people are putting glass or tape over the UVB mesh, and UVB doesn't even go through glass, and it won't even go through PVC or anything like that, or whatever you want to call it. It's just, it's no good, man. Yeah, as well, don't put live plants in your tank. If you feed your water dragon outside the tank, which I tend to do, I put a towel down, let the crickets run around and he goes and eats them. That's fine, keep live plants in there if you're going to do that, but don't put crickets in there with live plants, because they'll end up breeding and then they'll end up putting their eggs and stuff in pots, and you have to change the pot and everything like that. Don't worry about the humidity too much, because it is half and half, and the humidity will sit at about 80 at halfway through the tank, like. So yeah, it's not too bad. My Chinese water dragon seems to be doing pretty healthy. He's nice and colourful at the minute. He's got alert, he's playful, he's nice, he's not healthy, and he's not vicious. So I'll give you a quick glimpse. No, he loves his home too much. Come here. There he is. That's him, he's just shed. He's lovely and colourful. He's only a baby at the minute. You can't really see the colours. I'll probably take some pics of him and put him up. He's lush. So if I've missed anything out, or if you want to give me any tips or anything like that, or any help, feel free to comment. If you want any advice or you want me to run through anything, just ask and I'll help. Like I said, nobody online I've seen has done a decent video. They're just showing off their vivariums and not really telling you how they've done it or what they do. So I'm going to try and help out with that, because I didn't have a fucking clue, to be honest with you. So there we are. Right, end of video, sound.